Well, today, guys, we're going to do some OSPF. We're going to build some roads. Alright, guys, so if you look at my my little network or area, if you would say, my backbone area here, I haven't installed any OSPF. What I've done is I've installed just the IP addresses, things like that. So I'll kind of show you what I got. Let's exit config mode. Alright, so show IP interface BRI, and I messed that up. There we go. BRI. Alright, so as you see, all the routers have networks on their interfaces. I do have the loopback address there, and I do have on this one VLAN 1. I do not have VLAN 1 set up on them all. I did this one because I got the computer on there. Just maybe and I do have a line card in here. Hold on, let's go physical. So I put this little card there. It's a switch card. I put that in there. Maybe what we'll do is later I'll put a switch card down here. So I'm going to keep this video kind of brief. Just talking about LSA 1s. Maybe we'll get into LSA Type 2s for OSPF, but just the basic config of how to get it up and running and things of that nature. So let's kind of talk about what happens with OSPF. OSPF basically building roads. You know, if I was to come down here to router 4, right, and I was to ping an IP address on router 1, just as router 1 here, you would not be able to reach there, right? We only know, without any routing protocols or static routes, we only know directly connected networks, okay? So it would know, okay, for instance, let's go here, let's go to exit, right, show IP interface BRI. All right, so we would be able to ping, I believe, this one, 10.0.4.1, because if you come over here, let's go here, all right, enable, sorry, yeah, enable. Let's do a show CDP neighbors right here. So that's CDP neighbors. Let's do a show IP interface brief. All right, so you got 4.0.4.2 on 0.1, which you look here, 0.0 to 0.1. So if we went back up and we went to router 2, you would see there it is, 0.1 at 4.1. So if I was to come down here, right, let's ping 10.0.4.1, I believe, 4.1. I think that was, maybe I got the address wrong. Hold on a second. Oh, no, it worked. So we did have an ARP where we missed one. Basically, you missed one packet because of ARP. So we were able to make that ping, right? So if we come up here, let's go here, and let's ping 10.0.2.1, right? So let's go back down here. Let's ping. Oh, fat fingers. They ping 10.0 or 10. What was it? 10.2. No, 10.0.2.1. Right. Let's cruise back. Yep. That was the address, and it's gonna die, right? Because we don't have any knowledge of this route on this router, and we not only does this router need to know how to get to router, you know, 1, right? Router 1 also needs to know how to get to router 4. So even if router 4 knew how to get to router 1 and router 1 doesn't know how to get to router 4, you would have no ping either. So what we're doing with OSPF is we're building roads. So we're telling people, like, you know, we're telling with network statements and things of that nature. So router 1's going to tell the DR. So we have a DR, okay, and we have a BDR, which is a backup designated router, and then we have a designated router. All right, so we'll just say, because router, so how that's chosen, who is the, and then there's a druther. So if we have a backup, or have a DR, a backup, and then we have druther. And so if you're not a back or a DR or a BDR, then you're a druther. Okay, like you would, and that's how that kind of goes. And instead of establishing, okay, so this guy has a bunch of routes, right? And instead of this guy everybody sharing all the information with every router, what ends up happening is, we'll just say router 4 is going to become the DR, which is the designated router. These 3 routers are going to communicate their networks that they're advertising. They're going to communicate all that stuff, all the LSA information, okay, to this router. This router will be the clearinghouse, because it's going to communicate it if there's a change. Okay, say there's a change on router 1. We're adding the 4.1 network or something, whatever, maybe our 10.4 network, whatever. And we added that network statement in there, okay? Now it's going to send an update, all right? And it's going to update the DR. And the DR will push the updates to the rest of the routers. So instead of it having to send the router 1 have to send an update to all 3 routers, it's only sending an update to 1 router, okay? And then the BDR is updating all its information from the DR, all right? So I know I was kind of deep a little bit. Hope I explained it good enough, but let's kind of play a game here. Let's go config T. I'm going to show you how to set this up. There's lots of theory with a lot of these protocols, and sometimes it's not as hard to get them running. This is one of them cases. Obviously, this is the beginning of it, right? So let's go. What we're going to do is we do router OSPF 1. We've activated the process. Right now we have no networks being shared, so what we're going to do, this is going to be the standalone router, and we're going to do network 10.0.2 oh no, sorry, we're not doing that. So we're going to do the 10 network. So we're just going to put the 10 in there. I apologize. Lost the train of thought there. So now we're going to put the 10 network in. So we got anything beginning with 10, okay, and now we want to put into the routing table. And how we're going to do that is to say we care. It's going to be a wild card. We care about the 10. We do not care about the zeros, right? So all we care about is the first octet, okay? And then we got to specify an area 0, okay? Now we have told router 1 that we basically are enabling all of its interfaces that are with a 10, okay? So let's go ahead and let's exit. So let's do a show IP OSPF database. Alright, so this is what you call an LSA type 1. Alright, so what LSA type 1 is, it's unbout me, and it just talks about itself. Okay, that's basically what an LSA. It talks about all the interfaces that are playing in OSPF and all that good jazz. It just talks about itself. And we can see what is in LSA types 1 by show IP OSPF database. Okay, now it's question mark it, right? So there's a couple options here, and what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do the router LSA, okay? Because what an LSA 1 is a router LSA, meaning I'm talking about myself, right? Boom. So now if you look, we are, okay, let's look here. Oops, there we go. So we're coming through. You're seeing that the ID is the router ID is going to be a 1.1.1. Now the reason it does that, so the first thing it does is priority, and then it's the highest IP address. If you put a loopback in, it'll be the highest IP address on a loopback. Or if you don't have a loopback, it'll be the highest IP address on an interface, okay? And basically, by default, priority is going to be 1, okay? But if you look here, very simple. We got the 10.0.11, the 10.0.1, the 10.0.2, right? The 10.0.11 network was VLAN 1, all right? And if you notice, where's it at? Where is it? It says it's a stub network, and the reason that it says that is because it's the only OSPF speaker. So it'll say it's a stub, because it's the only one right now. Alright, so that's what we got there. Alright, so that's LSA type 1. So let's move on. I think we got enough time. Let's add this bad boy. Okay. let's do show IP protocols. Okay, we have no protocols running. Config T router OSPF1, and we're gonna we'll just do all the 10 network. So network 10. So we don't care about the last 3 octets, and then we care about the first octet. We don't care about the last 3, right? All right, we got that, and then we're gonna put it in area 0, and we're gonna talk about. Just worry about area 0 now, but there are some other areas that we're going to talk about later. So, all right, so now we are advertising out of the 10 networks here. So now, let's see, let's see, show, oh, we got to exit out, hold on, let's exit out. All right, show, now what I'm predicting is going to happen, let me see if I can. Yeah, remember the command. Show IP OSPF database. Or let's try neighbor. I think neighbor. Let's try neighbor. Alright. Which is kind of interesting here. So, alright, why is 1.1.1 the DR, right? Why would you think that is? So, because the reason it's the DR, so remember we talked about, we come over here, we don't even need to go over there. So, technically, it's the high, priority is the same, and then at that point, it's looking at the ID. The ID on this one is 2.2.2 because that's what the loopback is. So, technically, this should be the router, the DR. So, what we're going to do, so we are going to, so remember what we got to do, we have to save, so we're going to save our changes. Let's save over here, okay. Hold on just a second. Alright, WR, so we're saving, save! We're saving our configuration, okay. So now what I'm going to do, we're going to bring these up, okay. So there is no preemption. If you don't know what preemption is, preemption basically says if router 1 was up and I brought up router 2, it's not going to preempt. It's not going to say, hey, I have the bigger router ID, so I'm the DR. Router 1 is going to stay the DR. Okay, that's preemption. Or preemption would be that is not preemption. Let me rephrase that. So basically, what preemption is if router 1 was up and router 2 came up and it said, okay, I have the bigger router ID, then router 2 would take over. But in this case, preemption is not a part of OSPF. So therefore, router 1 is going to stay the DR because there's no preemption, and then you're going to have the router 2 become the BDR or a druther. Okay, it's not going to push router 1 out of being the DR. But if when I restart these, right? Let's go to the physical interface. Let's turn off, turn on, and then let's turn off and on. Now, as long as I got them on, when these boot back up, okay, what you're going to get is that router 2 is going to become the DR. So we are on router 2. Let's wait for it to get up and rolling here. Alright, it's up and rolling. Let's go enable. Show IP OSPF. OSPF database. Oh, no. What was it? Neighbor. We'll do neighbor. Yep, neighbor. Alright. Oh, so there you go. So now you're seeing that it's a two-way druther. So that's what router 2 is. Or I mean router 1 is. Sorry. Yeah. So now if we come back over here, okay, and let's go to enable. Okay. Show IP. Hold on, we're gonna get there. I swear. Show IP OSPF neighbor. Look at that. Now router 2 is going to be the DR. All right. So the next thing to kind of show you, let's come over here and let's go show IP. No, let's go show OSPF or IP. I always mess that up. OSPF database. So now you're going to have two. So now you're going to have a network LSA, all right? Which is, this is a network LSA, so this is a router LSA. It's all about me. And then this is a network LSA. So let's go see what's in the network LSA. Hit the network. So this is the network LSA. It's just telling it's attached routers. It's the in between the links there. All right, so you look here, 10.0.2. Okay, so this right here is gonna be. Let's see here. Let's go over here. Come on. Oh crap. We don't have them set up for, so it doesn't look up the domain name or whatever. Translation. So let's go over here. Show IP interface BRI. Oop. So there's the two. So off of this one, see, now if you come back, let's go back up. Let's see here, right here. See right here? It's the network in between. So right in between here, it's saying that this is the link. Boom. And all of these LSAs are going to be synchronized. They will all be the same. So if we came over here, let's see, is it done yet? It ain't even done yet. So I guess we'll leave it at that here, guys. I guess the takeaway here is hope you learned a little bit about BDRs and DRs and how easy it is to set up OSPF. And just because it's easy, I mean, this protocol is deep, and there's tons of LSAs, and there's tons of documentation on it, and there's a lot of information to take. But I kind of wanted to show, I mean, a lot of times I'm learning here with you guys, myself, because I'm trying to really dig deep into these protocols and learn as I'm going with you guys. But the biggest thing to take advantage of here is that you can download packet tracers for free from Cisco and get rolling, and you learn technologies by playing with technologies, and that's kind of my path. And if you can teach a technology, then you know you're a master, right? So I know I probably missed a couple things in this video, but I hope that you learned something, and if you learned one thing, it was a success. And I'll continue to do another video on this, and you know, we'll bring up the other two routers and see where it goes. So I appreciate you tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.